Not Russell holding me back anymore. No, I mean, I was completely shocked when Russell rang me up one day and said that he said he was resigning, and I laughed. He said, "No, really?" Because I never considered when Russell and I first came up with the idea, we said. Russell said, "I'll execute and you write it." I said, "Well, that's fine." And I always expected him to be there doing that. But of course, he had this other project that he wanted to do.
He's got 3 other shows in
exactly.
At the same time,
so it would have been just crazy for him to have done that, even for Russell to have done all of that, and done Wizards. So it was great. So I just kind of embraced the whole thing, really, and it just gave me. I didn't have to convince Russell to do anything anymore. No, so we I don't know, I just carried on. The show, we'd already established what the show was. And Russell and I had kind of talked before he decided about a couple of things. And really, it was that point at which I just wanted to explore other avenues, really. And because we were bringing in some new members of cast, i.e. the Necros were changing a little. The completely mad, a wonderful season finale that we had last year that Russell wrote was a great point at which to kind of twist the story again. And these shows are kept alive and interesting by continually making sure that they evolve not into a different show, but into exploring new avenues of the shows. And I've always kind of said that the great thing about Wizards vs. Aliens is that it gives us 2 universes to explore. So we have the universe of space, but we also have that universe of magic as well. And so this year we were keen to kind of maybe explore the magical side as much as the alien side. And also it was a great opportunity to bring in another alien, which was something that I had always wanted to do. But I'm so happy with the show that we've got this year, and so happy with and an awful lot of that comes down to Derek. It does, because for somebody who this is their first gig as producer, he's just done an amazing job, along with everybody else who's the people behind the camera. I mean, this is going to be one heck of a roller coaster ride, I tell you. It really is. We go places, you see things. It just gets bigger and more exciting all the way we go through.
In terms of Annette, and Purcell and Scott, when obviously you're used to these characters very much now. It's your 3rd series with them. So is there anything that you do you approach it differently? Can you just slot into it very easily, or do you still have to prepare for it? And how does it work from a script point of view? Are there ever times where you now kind of say, well, I actually don't think my character would say that, because you kind of feel like you know them so well?
Yeah, I would say it's always interesting with a series because you need to look at the character journey and what the character goes through and remember what happens to the character in the past episodes and stuff like that, to take that on board. And especially with Derek, we was always talking about Benny and I think just character journeys and stuff like that. And especially for me, I realised that these characters, they had become almost accustomed to what they experience and new experiences. But for Benny, his confidence would grow. So that was something that I initially was putting forward myself, but I had great support.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That was the line that you put in there.
Oh yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it's a line that I said because I just felt.
So you kind of instinctively feel.
Yeah, and I think it's that thing where we have been in these characters and we do love them and know them so well. So
yeah, we do. It's very easy to slip back into. Like we said, we've done 2 series before, so we know we're pretty comfortable with the relationships the characters have between each other. We know that Benny and Tom, get on really well, but at the same time they fight all the time, especially when it comes to science and magic. They have different opinions, and I love my gran and I always think she's great and right, and this is very easy to slip into. It's it's very easy to slip back into.
And how easy do you find it when you've got as many projects as you have to juggle? How easy do you find it to sort of just
swap the hats?
Yeah.
The writing informs you, the situation you're in. You approach things in the same way, but it has a different feel. So, and as Percy said, you remember where you were before. We found it much harder actually going from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
From than to refine those characters because we weren't so strong in them. So I remember we were all very edgy at the beginning of the second series.
Yeah.
For the first kind of week or two, you know, were we the same people or not?
And I think, there's always, room for improvement. So it's always, how did we do last year, the last series, and how can we make it more entertaining and, you know, better? So that's always something that we're always thinking.
And one of the things that always intrigues me, and I was going to bring up, is this whole thing about working with visual effects and having to act against stuff that isn't really there. And we had a prime example of that, which Scott and Annette had to act against with Banshee at the beginning. And I'm always kind of curious as to how you approach that kind of scene, and actually what's going on in terms of, is somebody like holding a stick at you, or how you know where to react and so forth.
There wasn't really a technique, was there? It was kind of just, we just sort of asked around what was going on with the Banshee, how
We are shown images, which
Yeah.
you don't always get, but we are shown images of them.
shown of what it's looked like, and then we just sort of ask how crazy is the Banshee going, how much is it really messing up the kitchen, and then we just, me personally, I just sort of played with it in my head. I just thought.
And is somebody coming on like throwing a few bits around and then
Yeah,
dropping
well,
it off again?
to be fair, everyone made the kitchen look a great mess, so it did really well to help me. Yeah, really believable. So I just sort of imagined if I had a Banshee in my kitchen.
So I think Phil actually does have a Banshee.
More than one. Every morning I wake up to that mess. I tell my wife it's the Banshee.
Yeah.
Phil and Derek, you both kind of cross over into sort of Doctor Who universe that is also inhabited at BBC Wales. I mean, how much kind of crossover is there between the two shows?
In terms of production, it's like all the shows at BBC Wales. Actually, it's a great facility in that you've got lots of productions all working together. So everyone supports each other, and crews kind of move between different productions. But editorially, we're in a very different universe. So where we're sharing bits of sets and sharing, talent, we're quite contained editorially. We're a little universe of our own that we're quite proud of.
We are not, as we know, in the Whoniverse.
We're not in the Whoniverse,
We're in the Wizardverse.
But we do share technicians and special effects people.
I mean, that's the great thing about making this show down at Rothlock, because there's such a huge, talented pool of people there, and that's why it's a privilege to make these shows there. They're just great people to work with, and there is, and I always used to say this about Sarah Jane, and it's the same with Wizards. There's such a family feeling there on the show, which is just lovely to be a part of.
And I was sort of talking about the fact that the characters have got to know, where they're coming from and so forth. But when you're writing for them, now that you know them as people as well, the actors, how much does that kind of affect what you write on the screen?
It's always easier to write a character when you've seen them on screen. It's whatever the show is, it's that first time that you write a character. So for that first season, certainly as a writer, I was feeling my way, and there's a certain amount of experimentation in terms of writing those parts, as there is in terms of the actors playing them. But yes, we've done 2 seasons, and I think we're all kind of comfortable with the characters. So then actually it's then my job to kind of mess that up a little bit. And I think you can only do that once you've got comfortable with those characters and you know who those characters are, so that then you can kind of take them on another journey. And I think it's fair to say that in this series is very much about Tom's journey and about Benny's journey. And there's, in some ways, this series is even more character-led than previous series. There is this year a very strong overarching story that runs throughout the whole series.
And would you, are the actors aware of that right from the start? There's going to be this arc, or do you sort of discover all this as you get script by script? How does that work?
I think from working on the first series and second series, you kind of expect that, whatever ride or journey we're about to go on is going to be something that we're not going to expect. Same with second series, where every episode just evolves into something different. But yeah, we will get, I guess, scripts, handed to us as we're going along.
Yeah, we get them every solo episode. We don't get everything all in hand and know
But then-
everything, so we just get told
Gossip
little
as well.
gossips on
Yeah.
set.
What's the rumours?
we had a chat.
We're very,
before we kind of-
we're very nice to heads of department before we start. We knew there was going to be an arc, but we didn't know what it would be.
Yeah.
We were told that there would be a link. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't watch the episodes individually either. That it's only ultimately that you see the kind of grand sweep of it.
There are things which have happened in what you've just seen, which have repercussions throughout the whole of the series.
And this is going to go out as a feature-length episode.
This will get on Monday
And then it goes back
at
to being-
5:30.
5:30 CBBC,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And then it goes back to being
Yes.
2 parts a week,
Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah, Mondays and Tuesdays for 4 weeks after that.
So we're very excited that we should get that feature-length episode.
Half
if you
an hour
like,
just
as
isn't
a-
enough, is it?
It would be great to know, first of all, any kids have got a question. There's a question straight away on the fourth row up in the middle. So let's go and get a microphone to you.
If you were in this adventure, what would you do?
So if you were in this adventure, what would you do? A very good question. But a difficult question.
So I think you need to answer, because we were in this adventure.
If I was in it, I'd be hiding under the table. That's what I'd be doing. Seriously. No.
You'd be walking around saying you will be recruited.
Yes.
That's probably exactly what would happen to us too.
Yeah, we recruited everybody. Yes, yeah. I'd love to live in the chamber, to be honest. I love that chamber.
Yes, come and stay with us. It's brilliant.
Day one. It's day one.
Because Nat
I
actually does live in the chamber.
I do live in the chamber. Well, Randall never gets out of the chamber. We think.
We shall see.
Let's see. Okay, great question. Any more questions from the children, first of all? There's a question right at the very, very back in the centre, and then we'll come further forward after that one.
What was your favourite episode?
Hang on one second, do we get a microphone to you now? There we go.
What was your favourite episode to do and why?
Okay, so which episodes do you most, or stories do you most like working on?
Wow.
These questions are hard without giving anything away.
Yes.
Do you mean this series
This
or
series or
previous
previous?
series?
Let's just say any series, shall we? Either this series, if you can tell us, or from the previous series.
I'm going to say, so far, just because you haven't seen anything, what's to come next, but so far, the last series, the All Out War, was fun, really fun for me personally to do, just because I got to be Super Tom and I'd done stuff I've never done before, and there was a lot of stuff going on. It was really action-packed and it was just really crazy and everything was going on. So far, personally, that was my favourite episode.
Yeah, I would say, I'm trying to remember the episode name. When
What
Tom-
happened? What happened?
He just has his son. What's
When was it?
On the 13th
Oh, 13th floor. 13th floor. I would say 13th floor because it was truly just stunning. I think anyone who watched it, the location was fantastic, and just the storyline, and seeing Scott and Gwen. Yeah, they just really took that episode to another place. So yeah, that's my favourite episode.
That was quite a turning point in the series.
Yeah.
Phil wrote. I'd like going to Tibet.
That was a very expensive episode.
That was very expensive.
We just touched on the locations and stuff there. It's a very Welsh show, isn't it? You really do use
Yes.
some amazing Welsh locations, don't
Tibet was a quarry in Wales.
you? And that will continue in this series as well.
Well, actually, this series more than ever. We really kind of pushed out this series, and we go to a couple of fantastic castles in Wales. We go to a couple of fantastic theatres. We go to a very beautiful abbey, which is on the coast. So and that fantastic, the Prospector's control room in that episode was a power station just down by Newport. So we actually, considering we had a little less money this year, we actually went out on location more, which I think really shows. Every story has a really different feel this year, and the location work really helps with that.
We still got to Shanghai as well.
We went to
Yes.
Shanghai as well. Yeah,
This year we go to Shanghai.
Okay,
absolutely.
there's a question, got a microphone now, yeah.
What's the most funny mistake that's ever happened to you?
There haven't been any mistakes.
Being in Wizards and Aliens was a big mistake.
I think it's better coming from you. I think everyone knows what the mistake was. It's from this episode when we was running through a door. You can Karen explain.
I don't know this.
Do you want me?
Oh wow, yeah. So what happened was a door was locked on the other side, so we was running and I was sprinting. We were sprinting.
It's when
there,
everyone
and then
approached us and everyone was looking at us and we had to get away from everyone who was possessed. And we was running full pace like we always do. 'Cause we always try and run as fast as we can.
And then went into the door, tried to open it, and then just slammed into it. And then we
Percy slammed into the door,
and then
Percy slammed into me, and then we both fell over.
I think my head hit your.
Your head hit mine, and then we both fell over the floor.
Yeah. We started laughing afterwards, so you know. Yeah. It wasn't too bad.
There's questions lined up here, and then we'll go up to the middle over there in a minute.
If you were a wizard, what spell would you do?
What spell would you do if you were a wizard?
Wizard.
I am a wizard. I can do many spells. I think it's you.
Unless you want to do a spell now for her.
Well, it's not the right game.
It's kind of secret that the Necros might be scanning.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think because science and magic work so well, I'd be smart, super smart, and have magic powers. I think that's what I'd do.
So you'd combine the
I'll
two.
combine the two.
And what would you use your magic powers for?
Anything I know it's cliche. I know people say save the world, but I'd just kind of be lazy and just food just just sit at home. Sorry, I'm already a superhero.
And then have you ever wanted a magic power?
Oh yes, many times. It isn't magic, I suppose, but I'd like to be able to teleport very much.
Those
just
journeys to Cardiff.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil, in a sense, when you are writing, you have got the ability to pretty much do whatever you want.
I am a
You use
wizard.
your imagination.
I am actually
You
a
are
wizard.
a
I am
wizard.
actually a wizard, it's true, yes. Yes. I don't know, I suppose if I had magical powers, the one thing I'd do would create somebody else that could write the script so I could just sit back.
You too.
Magic powers for laziness.
Magic and lazy.
Dave, would you have a power? Would actually, it's a hard work that you really strive for.
Yes, my magic power would be an overachiever to make up for these two. I do everything that they weren't doing.
There's a question in the middle somewhere. Who had the hand in the middle? Oh yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, hang on for the microphone.
That's what I was going to say.
Forgotten. Okay. We'll
That's
come
all
back
right.
to you.
There's another question along. Keep the microphone going along.
Oh.
And then we'll come back to you as well if you need to. That's fine.
Why did you choose 12 as the room?
Oh yeah, why did you choose
That's a
Well, we had
Yeah, I think it was because when I was at school, room 12 was the naughty room. That's where I spent most of my Yeah, that's why it was, yeah. I was always being sent to room 12.
I don't imagine that's changed much, has it?
No. They still have a room 12 at Roth Lock, and you can see where I spent much of my time in there, yeah.
Okay, any more questions? To make sure I haven't missed anybody. Any adults who want to ask questions? Okay, it's not adults. Okay.
What was your favourite prop that you got to use in the show?
I would have to say it was. I had so much great tech.
I'm trying. You got the teleport machine. The
Teleport machine.
teleport machine. Sorry,
Teleport machine.
What's what we just had? That was.
The Necros detector.
I don't think I've already get a prop.
I had magic last year, so that was probably my favourite prop, and I got to use your stuff. Yeah.
Your stuff is magnificent, isn't it?
Yeah. Very technical though, right?
Yeah, very technical.
Make sure to get.
Well, magic is sometimes technical.
Yeah.
Needs a little assistance. The Book of Crow for me is my
There's some
major
questions
prop which I
over
love.
here. Oh, okay, we're going back. We're going to stop first back to the middle again because the question's been answered. I had somebody else. There we go.
What was your favourite set to film on?
Sorry.
So your set.
Oh. I know this one. I don't. I'm really saying what my favourite
Yeah.
is. I just love the chamber. The chamber is just so magical. I mean, even when you actually, because things always kind of look different when you see them on screen, but actually, you know, that chamber is just so magical.
Exactly
It really is
Well, I have
just
to say,
like
you would
that.
see, if that was in a real house and you were using that bathroom, you'd feel a bit weird, wouldn't you? No, are they what? Anyway,
You'd never know, though, you see, unless
Well, no,
you were in on the
exactly.
secret. If you were just a visitor, you'd have no idea.
We have a really spectacular set in our finale.
That's just
I
like-
can't,
yeah.
that I can't really say much about, but it's our biggest set ever. It's bigger than the chamber, and it's. I never quite imagined we'd ever be able to build something that big, but our design team really pulled it out of the bag, and it's fantastic. So that's a treat. I won't say anything about it, but the finale is epic because of that. So yeah.
I have to say, we have got some of the design team people here as well, haven't we? We have also, we didn't say, we've got Michael Higgs here, who plays the dad on the show. Do you want to give us a wave? We are coming to an end, so I was going to get another couple of questions down here. We'll just do those.
Hi, I don't really know who to direct this to, but at the end of Series 1, Tom Clark wears like a red coat, and I'm wondering where the costume department get the costumes from, because I've been looking for that coat. I so want it.
You know, I think we got that jacket in Top Man. I think yeah. Ray Holman is the costume designer. You can find him on Twitter. I'm sure he'll be able to tell you. But I'm pretty sure it's Top Man. From what I can remember, I think it was Top Man.
Often with the saturation of colour, when they kind of manipulate the film a little bit, things change as well, and colours will change quite often. So designers have to be very particular in what they choose, because they suddenly see something they never expected.
Question in front, the row in front of there. Here we go. I think you both kind of, I don't know, you did two different questions.
Yeah.
Okay, well you are the final two questions.
In the 13th floor, when Varg thinks he's dying, he has this really interesting line about hoping he can get to be with his ancestors. So I was wondering, are we ever going to learn more about that sort of Necros religion?
The religious beliefs of the Necros. I wouldn't say that we're not going to.
So it's almost like we had Russell T Davies in the audience with us.